there could be a very big war if one camp tries to remove the other. So knowing what is happening, nothing can evolve because they both have the capacity to block each other. And that's the reason why Cameroon needs a new president, a new system, someone who's not tied and blocked by those gangs that are fighting around the president.
That is a francophone. He calls it gangs. Those in the Anglophone zone that think everything is okay with the Biya regime, how are you feeling hearing a francophone tell you about that system, that government? You want your people to continue with this after everything I've said, after all the facts? And when they tell you that you are not in the position to teach, just because you hurt their ego of the falsehood that they wanted all of us to be in. He calls it a gang. It's a tribal gang. When you get in there, they tell you you have the right to insult, abuse, eliminate anyone that comes from where you come from if they oppose this tribe. When you're part of that tribe, you have the right to insult anyone, including eliminating anyone, even from where you come from, to preserve that machine. We don't have an issue with that. Even if I come from the Northwest, you come from the Southwest, if you insult the Northwest and you're from the Southwest, we have no issues with that as long as this machine is running. It's diabolic. You can't reason with anyone that has locked themselves in that system. From today, now you know. Don't trust anyone with the DDR agenda. They are all CPDM militants, disguising as people that want peace and stability.
If Cameroon doesn't get a new president, you just forget about Cameroon. It's going to be total chaos. So it's just a real mess. And the only loser in all of this is the Cameroonian people, because you have the people in between. They need water, they need power, they need to be able to take care of themselves, they need jobs. They don't have that. Why? Because you have those two groups up there fighting for power, not power to help the people. They are fighting for power to stay in power, to be able to submit others. This
is one of the best interviews I've watched from Chris Anu's platform. I love the questions he asked that brought the best out of this man. I love the energy. In a community like this, know your strength, harness that strength for the betterment of the community. Because I learned a lot about that regime, and I think many others watching have learned a lot as well. This is time for us, my people, to act as though we are independent. This is an independent brother, just like me. This is what independence look like. Free thinking. The first independence is personal independence. You have to be free in your mind. Free to create, build, change things that you see that are not working. If you don't have that capacity, you are not independent. Not disorder, not foolishness, But look at the reality of things and stand and say, I understand what is going on here. There is no legal union treaty and we are not citizens of La République du Cameroon. Black people learn to follow law. Learn to be upright human beings. We shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't have any soldier from La République du Cameroon in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. And this is not something that we had to be debating or needing the UN to come in and help us. Doesn't make sense. When they come and then they go, what next? You have to live with me as a neighbor. Let's demonstrate maturity. Just quit it. Get the soldiers back into La République du Cameroon. Let's set up an administration here. The exchange of notes was a transfer of administrative authority. Because we understand what is going on right now, we can administer ourselves. Follow the Geneva Code to the T. And set up a functioning administration that reflects our history, our culture, our language, our leadership style, so that we can build a nation that goes on to preserve a legacy for our children, including our ancestors.
It's just a bizarre situation. And then lately, they started, they know Mr. Biya is no more fit to be in office. So, and they know that if the people protest, if the people stay firm on the and determine that Mr. Biya must go out, they know there is no argument. Mr. Biya will be out. So what do? They are now planning to kill other ethnic groups, other people originating from other regions, just to stay in power. And that is very unfortunate. So that's the current.
Those who are enforcing this system, you've heard it, they will wipe you out. And you from the Anglophone zone will be the prime target. Look at what is happening in Bamenda. Look at what is happening in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. If you get involved, you'll be the first target. And it's like you getting into the issues of another country. Someone from Equatorial Guinea or Nigeria or Chad won't get involved. Start thinking, living, believing that you are citizens of a different country, which is the truth, and not get yourself involved in what is going on in another country. You must act it out, because this is a frame of mind that you need to have to detach from this learned acceptance that we've learned to accept that we are Cameroonians when legally we are not. If you don't free yourself from this, because this is all you have known your entire life, you'll be trapped forever.
Situation, and that's why it's so dangerous. Leaving Mr. Biya in power, it is such a danger to everyone, to the Cameroonian people. First, because nothing will change. It's going to be fight over fight over fight, and nothing will move forward. You have the West interest in Cameroon. You have French, Russians, Americans. They have interest in Cameroon.
Right.
So when you encourage a country where injustice is the rule, your interest cannot be safe.
So all of you supporting that regime, that is exactly what will happen to you. Honestly, I don't blame the elders in our community. They could only explain what they understand. If I truly understood the history of the Southern Cameroons, I wouldn't have even written this book, The Cameroon Dream. Doesn't make sense. Black people must learn to follow law. Now they want to go and lump you together with other people and call it one Africa. That's the madness that some others go around with. that the second largest continent on earth, they want to turn it into one country. Siege mindset, a mindset wrapped with pain. The white man is the problem. The Europeans are the problem. Yes, they have their own issues. My brother, look under this comment section if you will see anyone from Europe coming here to challenge me. No, fellow black people. Very soon tomorrow you turn around and say it is the West. Is the West that made you to write what you wrote negatively? The West. Get your act together. You can't even live together in Cameroon. You want to live together as one in Africa. You can't live together Northwest and Southwest. You want to live together as one Africa. That was not the original intent of pan-Africanism. What you have is the Kwame Nkrumah's version based on his political ambitions. Wake up from that slumber. All of a sudden, when you go around with premature ideas, you say, oh, the West eliminates your leaders. They don't eliminate your leaders. People with foolish ideas, your own people will eliminate you. And they do that even more than the West. And then turn around tomorrow to blame the West and claim, I know the West have their own glitch, but the worst comes from us, not from the West. I'm not going to be deceived. This is 2025. If you claim that the West is the issue, I want to see genuine love from you, care from you. Smile on your face when you see me. You guys smile so hard when you meet the white man, but when you meet me, you have a frown on your face and you want to claim the West is the problem. Lighten up. For 553 years, we have been in contact with this West. China, just 47 years, they are a first world nation today. The West. Show up on time, you won't. Show up late every time. This is the English language. You turn it, create the pidgin language, and that is the primary thing. Some are trying to correct some filial words that I use. When they will switch off from this platform, pick up the phone, they are speaking on the other side in pidgin instantly. Some told me they can't even speak English in their homes. They won't. It's absurd. No, we prefer the watered down version of the English language. Speak your native tongue and speak the English. It's a business language. It's a diplomatic language of the world. China uses it. And they are in your community today extracting raw materials. Wake up from this slumber with all these ideas that don't work. Either you speak your native tongue and then you speak English. Quit the pidgin. There is no market value for that. We've done that in many African countries. Took the English language, watered it down. It still comes from the same West. That pidgin English is the broken version of what you adopted from the West. So quit everything. And those who say, oh, I don't have any glitch with the West, and I want to make that clear because I understand the hell that some of us go through among us. By the time I see this as not a problem, then we can talk about the West. But as long as you won't show up on time and you justify that that is a culture, we will remain like that, and let's look for a way to tolerate that behavior. It's the same way you want to tolerate this relationship, tolerate corrupt leaders like this, and while everyone here is miserable. There is no legal union treaty. They didn't sign a legal union treaty. And so you say, let's try to manage that situation. Not telling the person, oh, no, let this go. You didn't sign the contract. You can go to a store and just say, I bought something here. What is the receipt? Show me. Show me the treaty. And if that treaty exists, we should have a functioning federal system, not the fake federal system that was abolished unilaterally. You don't understand law, you don't understand politics, you don't understand history. Most of you don't. If you understand history, understand politics, understand law, there is no way for you to argue with me. Doesn't make sense. That is what makes a society irrational, that you see people resort to weapons and war because of irrational human beings. People that refuse to think because thinking is their hardest work in this life. I'm not talking about memorization, because that is what most of us do. We leave that school with what we've crammed, ideas we've crammed. We never ever take the time to reason what we studied in school. Just process it and see how it can be applicable in the real world. And so we leave, we have the words, but our heads are empty.
So ultimately, there will come a point where the people will decide to, to stand up and fight. And when they fight, whose interest do you believe will be targeted? The West interest, France, the EU, America, Russia. Their companies will suffer. So even for them, it's such a bad idea to keep Mr. Biya in power. Not only the man is doing everything to commit a genocide, so that is bad for the Cameroonian people, but it's also bad for the international community. I had a conversation on this.
And I want to say this. We've used the idea of the West having control over Cameroon for a very long time. If we would start a fight, and this is my advice, bear in mind that you will figure out what is going on to the end without hoping that the international community will come in. I get it. They have an interest in Cameroon, so they have interest in other countries. So if Cameroon fails, there are other places where they will go on to do business with. So let's start demonstrating maturity, act as people who are independent, and fix our own issues. If not, just get the white people to come back to Africa and become presidents and leaders. And we agree that we are incompetent. Even after 553 years of interacting with them, we've learned nothing that can enable us to govern ourselves. We just surrender our faith to them. China doesn't feel the same way we feel, even after just 47 years of interacting with these white folks. Since 1472, we have been in contact with them. It's a shame to think that we are still at this level. Let the issues we are dealing with in Cameroon and the United Kingdoms of Tikar, let us solve these issues as mature people. That is, if you don't have a receipt, my people, that indicates you do not own this merchandise. Can we agree on that logic? Yes. Then we don't have any issue here. If you try to manipulate the idea that if you don't have a receipt and yet you own something, brother, you are a corrupt human being, and now we are dealing with something else. And that is why these people establish laws in every institution, stores, businesses, so that they can avoid confusion and save time. You come in, the rules are there. The United Nations said, go on and ratify a union treaty. That never happened. So are we part of La République du Cameroun? No. Brother, anyone that comes up with another argument trying to twist things around, brother, individual is corrupt. Whatever emotional argument they are trying to place is not rational. It's not based on law. It's not based on facts. That human being, if you allow them, I'm telling you, they are corrupt and they will mislead you.
They were not interested. They were not interested. Let me just say.
He tried to bring up the Southern Cameroon's issue. Those in authority in Cameroon were not interested. And you hear why. No, let's have interest in what is going on with them now, because Issa Chiruma Bakari showed up and said, oh, I'll release the prisoners. No, release them. Even if we join you or not, the government of La République du Cameroun, release them. Those people have no reason being locked up in La République du Cameroun. Most Francophones have not said a thing for over 9 years. They've watched thousands of our people die. today because Issa Chiroma Bakari wants to become a president, and so all of us should be on the street for you. Again, I'm reminding the Anglophones, you should be guiding these people. That means when you pick up a fight, they are supposed to join. When you start something, they are supposed to join immediately because their own lives will be blessed in the process. Whatever they start, I have doubts about it. French system doesn't work anywhere. It doesn't work. I hope that they are able to find a solution, but their system, my brother, has failed in every country that France colonized. Globally, this is history.
Say it that way. And Mr. Thabo Mbeki said it plainly.
When you say they were not interested in what?
They don't want peace in the Nozo region.
Okay.
Because it works for them. Some of them financially. When I say financially, I speak directly of Mr. Atanganji. He's financially benefiting from the crisis. For people like Ngongo and folks at the Ministry of Defense, they benefit from this crisis. You know, in the military, in the military, you know, the hierarchy in the military, it's financial benefits.
Yeah.
So they find joy in our pain. And somebody would tell me in the comment section, we are one. You're trying to divide people. I haven't seen a video on your platform criticizing behaviors like this. You are a hypocrite. Repent. They find joy in another dying. And they've had one of our own in there doing this to us. And they want us to join the fight and lose more people fighting for them. Because Issa Chiroma Bakari lost an election. We are talking about our existence that has been stripped away from us. Our land has been infiltrated, French imposed on us. A language that doesn't have economic value. We have over 200 million Chinese people as we speak right now learning English so that they can do business with the rest of the world. English is the diplomatic language of the world. To have an ignorant French man that thinks they should turn someone that speaks English into a French man, you're diabolical, brother. And for you to be blind to all the aspects or ways which La République du Cameroon has been trying to destroy us, brother, all by itself, that is evil. Let God help you, because it might not be well with you in this world and in the world after. And if you guys continue with this in the next 30 years, we have been calm, we've restrained ourselves, my people, you all will be eliminated with time. And this issue of Issa Chiroma Bakari might be the first step of you destroying yourselves. God will not allow this kind of system to exist on earth. Every bad, archaic, rugged, corrupt system always collapses. It's a matter of time.
You know, they see this as an incentive to keep the war, you know, going. And then you have the politicians, the people who believe that if Nozo is in peace, it may be difficult to rig elections. So those people, and we saw it on October 12th. So if they can keep the region in a senseless war, then they can rig elections as long as they want, because they can use the Nozo as a reserve of voices to win any election they will want to win.
And to let the people know, maybe this is the first time you're having a country, so you don't understand how far I've studied, my depth of research. When the Roman Empire collapsed, Britain, France, Germany, they were all part of that Roman Empire. They broke away and found themselves and built countries. As this heap of mess is dissolving here, we are finding ourselves, even though we were never part of it. But Britain, France, all of them, they were part of the Roman Empire. They went on to build nations. Over time, when their GDPs were in the trillions of dollars, they came together and created the European Union. And only 27 out of 47 countries in Europe are part of that European Union. If you don't know that, check it. We have even the African Union, where every African country is part of. Now we want to turn the whole Africa into one country. I want you to see the insanity. We have ECOWAS, we have CEMAC. These are subgroups within Africa. They have not been able to solve one problem successfully inside of Africa, and they have African Union. They sent a delegation from the African Union to Cameroon. The individual arrived in Yaoundé, had a good time, and went back. And let's have faith in that system. There is no country in Africa that you should be looking up to. My people, we are looking at first world standard. China was caged like the way we are thinking right now for 183 years until Deng Xiaoping showed up, visited Japan and America, went back and said, this hunger and starvation our people are going through, things must change. We will adopt what works, no matter where it is coming from. If it will free our people, again, my people, there are certain things we must prioritize. Institution is number one. We need great institution. We are not building a leadership system around an individual in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. We are building based on strong institutions. That is number one. Strong institutions. Innovation. Economic development. This is our priorities. Again, institutions, strong institutions that will put the mind to work. Innovation and economic development. And we will learn from any country that will help our people change our story. And that is what China did. Deng Xiaoping went back to China and said it doesn't matter whether the cat is black or white, as long as it can catch a mice. He said it was a good cat. They reformed their economic policies immediately. 47 years later, China is a first world country. Lee Kuan Yew, the same thing. When he became president of Singapore, small country. I said the United Kingdoms of Tikar is 24 times the size of Singapore. Small country, was less than 2 million people in the 1960s. When they left Malaysia, because they were part of Malaysia legally, not ours, when we don't even have a legal document with La République du Cameroon. Lee Kuan Yew, they came out of Malaysia. Singapore started. He told his people, we are going somewhere. They believed. They set up institutions. He visited Africa and saw all the mess that was going on with the Nkrumah regime. He would have developed Ghana to a first world country first before you try to unite Africa. Start with where you are. Do something. Let's see first. Don't just hit people together with some lofty ideas that is not grounded in facts. That is what he did. He visited Ghana at that time. Saw everything that Kwame Nkrumah was doing there. Said, no, this is not what we are looking for. Went around, looked for the best models. Came back and said, we will focus on institutions. Enhance the quality of our people. Today, you can't take some menial jobs that are exported to China or maybe some Asian countries in Africa to Singapore. They have quality people. Quality people that are paid well. He moved that country to a first world country. It was not through a siege mindset, colonial mindset, slavery and slave trade mindset. You must take the slavery out of the black man. And we are doing that. We can't keep everybody in this confused area. No, we bring them out. So God bringing out the children of Israel out of Egypt, that was division. So you are saying God also made a mistake. By you think the children of Israel were the only slaves in Egypt? No, we had Libyans, we had Nubians. In there as slaves, God brought out 12 tribes. The model works. Our leadership style is not compatible. Our history, our culture, everything. And besides that, we are not legally bound to La Republic of Cameroon. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This corruption has blinded us. We are too emotional. When people think this way, that is why you only need a white man. No reason. Where did you keep your reason? There's no contract, there's no agreement. All the lawyers in our community, you know these things. You've studied it in contract law. You know these things. The lawyers in our community, you can back me up on that. You know these things. And then we are talking about a country and there's no legal union treaty. And you're saying we are citizens of La Republic of Cameroon. An agenda cooked up by someone who has an education equivalent to that of from 3, a radio host, radio operator in 1960. You can really trap some people like this forever. No matter the level of education they attain, they will come back and still think around that frame. It's sad. This is the platform that you don't come here to do that kind of thing. Just go far, my brother. And you think they have to must fight. No, you will take. We will get you to reason. You must use your brain. You get what I'm saying? You must use your brain. That is what God gave you. That is why you guys are focused on those who hold guns, because you don't want to focus on those who have something in their head. You come here to disregard my work, my research, everything. If people were given a Nobel Prize based on their ideas, they will give me one. Just for the issues that I've diagnosed in Africa. Just to debunk the madness, the insanity of uniting people, understanding our history of 300 kingdoms, some large, some small, that were stitched into 54 countries. And now they are struggling with each other within those countries. Just to break that down and explain to people what is happening to them. The Cameroon dream, I gave a dream for that nation. You guys can use that. We've created the African generational milestone to help Africans based on how old they are to understand their assignment based on the dispensations that they were born in. If people were given a Nobel Prize for their ideas, I will receive one. Came up with moral technocracy, an enhanced version of the democracy that is practiced globally. Because what is missing in most black people is morality. You see blue and call it black and try to persuade everyone to go along with that. And you can do that for 100 years. That is why we could participate and sell our own as slaves. Today you still see blue. They will show you even the documents, you will still argue.
Supposed to be the prime minister, but he's just the first of the ministers. You know, they just call him first when they are calling people within the government.
Right.
That's the only honor he has. You know, I know that there are things that if, you know, the prime minister is allowed to play his full role.
Now I want you to hear how this brother takes initiative. We can learn from that and remain focused. Everyone from the United Kingdoms of Tikar, don't be distracted. We have everything that it takes to succeed, and we'll go on to bless even the La République du Cameroon and neighboring nations. We are not here to fight, we are here to build. We are not here to install firefighters. We are here to install builders, restore builders. Listen to how he takes initiative based on what he saw with the elections in Cameroon.
It's been our opinion that the only way to make this happen is going to be the only way they understand. And the only thing they understand is the use of force. And so we are not sitting back to watch the people go through a genocide. And we are not going to sit back to see them steal an election. And so a decision was made to arm the people, and that is effective. So that's how we will handle that.
What do you mean by a decision was made? Who made the decision?
So we came together as a group. I have a group of people I work with, some of them on the ground. And so we decided that the people of Cameroon deserve, self-defense, legitimate defense. Someone cannot come to your home and start shooting at you or trying to kill you, and then you sit back. You have the right to self-defense.
You hear that? He's taking initiative as a citizen born in Yaoundé, and he's saying you have the right to self-defense. And that is how everyone inside the United Kingdoms of Tikar, you've heard it. Maybe when a Francophone man says it, you believe it. This is the time for us to expand our military base, even while they are trying to install a new president. Secure our eastern border. By the time they are done with their fight, we say, don't cross that line anymore. We don't need UN. We don't need no international community. We will demonstrate maturity through our behavior. Do not kidnap your own for ransom. Everyone cooperate. This is the restoration of a civilization that was distorted 553 years ago. From 1472, slave raids destroyed everything our ancestors came over to the Highlands to build. And we are restoring that. And that is what they woke me up in this dispensation to. And this Cameroon dream was a journey for me to understand the incompatibility here and why yoking with people with no document will lead us nowhere. If you're married, your father or mother comes from the United Kingdoms of Tikar and from La République du Cameroon, this is time for you to choose truth. That side is evil. Choose the side of truth. That side is corrupt, and this brother is fighting right now to make sure that justice prevails. But all of you should start with the foundation of letting that government know there is no document binding us together, and tell them to let us go, because that is where your healing will start. That is where your breakthrough will start, even as you prepare to fight. Without that, you can fight, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of that fight. Start on the foundation of truth. We can't go on with this. For 9 years, people dying. And we rise up today and say, oh, just forget about that pain that you're going through. Just join Issa Chiruma wants to become. This is just someone wanting to become president. But we are looking at restoring a nation that has been destroyed by La République du Cameroon. And we have citizens from La République du Cameroon enforcing this, and will never take the time to study. And even after they know the truth, they stay quiet. Hell that will come on La République du Cameroon. My people, If care is not taken, this country will bleed in the continent of Africa. The soldiers that you keep allowing to come in and terrorize our people and take their lives, you can't just get away with this. Our young people have to flee from the country. They die in the Sahara Desert just to make it to Europe, deprived of basic necessities in their own area because your leader could not ratify a union treaty and so decided to use brute force, go against the United Nations to enforce falsehood. And some still have the courage, the guts that you have. You've taken our leniencies for granted, our hospitality, everything. It won't go well with you. It won't go well with you.
And we believe that the people of Cameroon have the right to a legitimate defense. And that's what's being done. And so arming the people, some of them are coming from the Cameroonian army. Others are not from the Cameroonian army.
So when you have these different groups and each person fighting for his own interest, protecting his or her own interest, when it comes to a situation like the elections that just took place, how do they agree? Because you see different interests.
They all come together, Chris. This is Biya is the one thing that unites them. If you, because they understand.
This is really just a gang of people, a tribe that they have created, incompetent people, and yet they are trying to persuade us that the government knows what they are doing. Go watch this entire video. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. And after watching that video, if you still think in your right senses that you desire a position in that government, I have empathy for you. All we can do is pray for you. If you still desire to serve in that government, I'm sorry for you. We can only pray for you. Not everybody gets it. And some follow, and their own family is spared. But those who continue this way, I just have to pray for you. They just have a little gang in there. They're just running a little gang in there. Try, man. And you call it a country. That's, I mean the most mediocre tribe people. We have the longest serving president in the continent of Africa. The oldest president in the world. And someone is trying to get me to reason with their version of unity, their interpretation of the idea of unity. We are united in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. Every tribe you see in there is there by consent. Any other union that people did not consent to get into, we can't really use that as a barometer to measure unity.
We are the roots, we are the flame, we are the voices that keep your name. Oh, Tikar, rise, your path foretold. A nation reborn, a spirit bold. Slave chains tried hard to bend our step. Colonial lines could not intercept.